Thanks for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. You can find us wherever you find podcasts or listen to music. When you have an opportunity, please give us a 5-star review, write a little note, tell us how we're doing. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep this thing going. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us at Facebook at Hidden Tracks. Instagram is at HiddenTracks99, and if you'd like to send in submissions or talk to us or give us any feedback about what we're doing, our email is myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome to this week's episode of Hidden Tracks Podcast. Today I have Alie Byland. She is a indie rock, folky, very cinematic, but like what we like to call just music. It's music, man. It's we don't like the label shit, but it is music. It is good music. It is very sultry to listen to. It's really good if you're fans. If you're a Lana Del Rey fan, or if you're anyone with a great female vocal voice that can just make you feel something, she's for you. So, Alie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me and for the kind words.
It's our pleasure here. We enjoy talking to people that are good at their craft. So, you're good at what you do, and we appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much.
You released an album in the year 2020. Your first studio release called Gray, and you released it at a time that was unprecedented in our life. So first I want to say, were you planning on always releasing it then, or did you push it up so you could release it?
I was actually a fan of waiting just because it's so much work to put something out, and we had worked on it for so long. But it was actually our PR reps that were like, just put it out. The world needs some good music right now. And we think that it will do well. So it wasn't in the plan, but I'm thankful we did it.
So how was your first studio presence to release your own album feel like under the moniker Byland?
Great. Yeah, I think this record is so much of my heart, and I was really, really proud of it, and still I am. So it just feels really, really good to get it out. And I've, had a little bit of response from people that have listened and that have said that it means something to them too. So it's a good feeling when you like what you make.
Yeah, I mean, you can hear your heart in the songs. I mean, it's a piece of you, so you can hear it and you can feel it when you listen to a song. And when your vocals kick in, you know that your vocals kick in, and you kind of put a feeling over it. It worked for me. Don't know if it works for everybody, but for me, I just felt different when I was listening to it. I was like, oh, I don't know how I'm supposed to be feeling right now. What is going on? But yeah. So you did something great there.
Thank you.
I want to find out about your life and what it meant to find music in your life, and when it changed. We usually look at it as a first musical memory. I shared mine recently, so I'm not going to do it again because I promised to never do it, but I finally did it with a guest that pushed me. But it's when I realized what music was, when it was no longer cartoon theme songs and Disney soundtracks, even though Disney soundtracks are real music, but like Sesame Street sing-alongs. I heard a song by a band and it just changed me as a child into just diving into music for the rest of my life. Do you remember what it was for you?
It's either Brandi Carlile or Manchester Orchestra. And I know that I was actually just listening to your podcast about Brother Bird, and she mentioned Manchester as well. But they, like their record, I'm Like a Virgin Losing a Child, was life-changing for me because it was the only CD I had in my car. And it was the only thing I listened to over and over and over and over. And I loved how the music didn't end in between songs. It was just like one seamless piece of art. And yeah, I had a convertible Mustang that was my brother's that I got. It like barely ran, but I would just put the top down, and I live in New Mexico, and it's usually really sunny, and I know every word to those songs just because it was, I think, the first probably like secular song that I had heard. So yeah, probably them.
Yeah, that they are very. I don't even know how to describe Manchester Orchestra. I've seen them so many times, and they are just. I mean, their new song came out, Bedhead, and again they put out one song, and I was like, oh great, here we go again. They kill it, and it's annoying sometimes to me when there's bands like that every time I hear something from them, I'm like, shit, they did it again. I'm waiting to be disappointed because everybody at some point will disappoint you if they're around long enough. And I'm like, they've been around long enough. They got to disappoint me. And, who knows? There could be other songs on the album when it comes out, but the first song they dropped, maybe it's because they knew that they did it again. So,
yeah, no, it was amazing.
So, agree. Like so many other people, did you, we talk about this a lot here because there should be every single person in the world, it almost seems like that's a musician. Were you brought up musically? Was there piano lessons in your life like the 90 million people that have played piano to start their life? Or how were you first introduced to music?
I love this question. Yeah, I owe a lot of it to my mom. I grew up in the East Mountains of Albuquerque, New Mexico, in a little town called Tejeres, and I was homeschooled, and my parents had a sign business on our property, so we pretty much like were there all the time. But my mom, she stole money away from our grocery budget just to get me piano lessons, so it was a sacrifice that she, made happen for me. And the teacher I had, I wish I could find her now to thank her, but she just started me out on the right track. I feel like my first lesson was me sitting down at the piano, and I remember I could barely touch the floor, and it was this huge grand piano. And she just said, just close your eyes before you even touch the piano and just feel exactly what you're feeling right now. And it was a little bit of a meditation. And then she said, find one note that describes how you're feeling. And so I, found one note. I don't remember what it was. And then she said, hold it for as long as you want and just feel the vibrations of that note. And, we continued on from there, but she taught me how to feel it. And wow. It was life-changing. It was my first introduction to expression, and it's always stuck with me.
It's sticking with me now. Just hearing, it's so simple, but at the same time, I'm thinking about it right now. And if that would happen to me as a child, how to react to that alone. Mm-hmm. And to find that key that you're feeling at that time, which for me, it, would have been apprehension and, which I wouldn't have known the word apprehension at that young of an age, but that's what I would have been feeling. And to know and to find that and feel that, that's a great teacher.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. She also had this really cool program, which was like monumental back in the day, but I would play a song that I wrote like on the keyboard, and then it would print out the sheet music. Mm-hmm. So I pretty much like composed my first song, and I got to name it.
What was the name? Do you remember?
I think it was, I don't remember. I know what it was about though. In my mind, it was a little girl playing jump rope, and then this monster trying to get her. And then the notes, went up and up and up the piano. So she was kind of like running away from the dark sound at the bottom. And I don't remember. I think it was jump rope or something.
Because I want when, you get to be out there again and perform for people. I want people to yell your first song you ever wrote.
Oh my gosh, I would love to play that again.
So learning piano at a young age, where did that lead you to next? How did the progression of an artist is, it's sometimes it seems extremely long, but in the grand scheme of things, it's really short. So what was it that led you down to just continue to create music, and where did you go after learning the piano lessons and creating music that way?
Well, I couldn't actually continue piano lessons my whole I think I only had like 10 lessons and they were once a month because we could only afford once a month. And eventually we moved to the inner city of Albuquerque and I didn't have a piano. So I don't know. I always was singing and writing melodies in my head. And um, I think it was when I grew up pretty religious, but my mom one day she was like, "Why don't you just ask God for a piano?" And so I remember sitting down and be like, "God, can you please give me a piano?" And no joke, like next day, this lady called and was like, "I have an extra piano. Does anybody want it?" So I have it still. Actually, it's in my house now. That same piano, and
Wow. So for someone to have an extra piano too, I mean, it's not like it's a mini Casio. It's, to have an extra piano lying around for someone to take is pretty nuts.
right, I know. And she actually paid for it to get tuned and like delivered it to my house.
That's what I call an answered prayer.
Yeah, I know. Like that was a moment for sure in my life. But I just remembered after that I think I did get piano lessons, but from a very, very different type of teacher. She was the one that like slapped the wrist with the ruler and I remember not liking it that much and we actually couldn't I only had like 10 lessons with her too, but that's kind of once I had a piano in the house, I would spend my evenings there just playing and writing along as I went. And yeah.
Is that where you taught yourself to write melodies and the harmonies to your songs by sitting behind that piano and starting your venture into something more?
Absolutely. Yeah. Those I remember. There was a window above the piano. It's just an upright. And so I would just kind of look out at the neighborhood and the trees and my dad would like lay on the couch and just fall asleep to me playing and writing. I never recorded any of it, but some of the melodies that were in my head, since I was a kid, kind of just came out. And that's the next step, I guess.
Now, we've all, when it comes to music, you find inspiration in a lot of things. You said looking out the window. I mean, inspiration is in front of you at all times, whether you choose to accept it or not, it's there. But we usually turn to other artists when it comes to inspiration and creating something new and creating music. Did you lean on listening to certain artists to help you craft your own style and sound? Was there someone that was more influential than others when you were creating that?
Yeah. So Brandy Carlisle, as I mentioned earlier, she had a song, I think she covered Hallelujah. And I remember hearing it. And the only reason I was allowed to listen to it because it had the word hallelujah in it. And her voice changed my life because growing up in the church, I pretty much only listened to like Rebecca St. James and like soprano singers.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't consider my voice naturally soprano. So I always had to lower the songs if I wanted to sing them. And when I heard Brandy Carlisle sing, I didn't have to lower the song. I didn't have to change the key. I could sing it. And I started listening to all of her music and I would sing the harmonies to her songs. And I loved her sound and I loved how she had a little bit of a yodel. So I think that's how I started writing, was kind of leaning heavily on her voice.
Yeah, my story with Brandy Carlisle is, so during quarantine, I'm flipping through the channels and there was a benefit going on for COVID, and she's like in her backyard on a log with her daughter on her lap, uh, guy playing acoustic guitar, and she's singing "The Eye," and I was moved to tears.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot for me to just like hear something like that. And I was moved to tears, and I'm yelling for my wife in the bedroom, like, you have to come out and see this. I'm
Yeah.
like, it was unbelievable. And I had a newfound like respect for Brandy Carlisle. I always appreciated her as an artist, but when I saw her perform that just with nothing else around and to move me to tears, I was like, okay, she could be my new favorite. Like
Yeah.
it was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Just admitted here that I cried like a baby listening to Brandy Carlisle. So can't wait for the responses to that.
You're not alone, I'm sure.
Yeah. So when you're listening to that, was there any focus for you to pursue music later on in life? Was there something that just drove you to, you're pursuing it because you're creating it and you're putting it out there? Was there something that kept you going to just say, I want to keep creating and I want to do my own thing and I want to stand out on my own?
I don't know. It's an interesting question. It's nice to self-reflect a little bit, but I'm not one to really like reach into the future and imagine what I want. It's kind of hard for me to I don't know. I'm just like pretty much in the moment, and a lot of the record that I just wrote was about practicing and envisioning what I want, and not just allowing life to happen to me, but creating what I want and being brave, going for it, taking risks. But yeah, I would say not until this record really did I do that. So I don't know if that answers your question.
But no, it sums it up. That you never. I get it. Not looking towards the future. It's almost as if you can try to tell someone you don't need to look to the future, but set a goal in the future to try and achieve.
Yeah.
And then you're not always looking to the future. You're looking towards that goal.
Yeah.
I would guess. I don't know. I'm fucking waxing poetic right now. But it answers. I understand that it's hard to always imagine something coming from something that you're passionate about. So
Yeah. No, I mean, I played music a lot, and my friend Christian, she was my childhood friend. She played guitar and I played piano, and she was writing songs every day, and we, would perform them in front of my church. And when I kind of exited that, community, you could say, or cult, I think, my pretty much like what I was supposed to do was laid out right before me on my whole life. Like I had a path that I was supposed to follow. And yeah, it's been really freeing to find my own path, my own songs, and actually be really passionate about what I have made.
do you remember how you felt the first time you performed in front of other people? And even in church, it's people that aren't, necessarily your family, your aunts and uncles, mother and father, brother and sister, but it's strangers in a sense. Do you remember how you felt performing?
Yeah, it came really natural. I was not nervous. I think I always closed my eyes and was just really inside my body. And I think that came from my piano teacher, probably just feeling everything that I was, giving. And I mean, I remember people were just like, wow, that was pretty natural. And you should do that more. So that's when I, started leading I had a band then, and we did a little tiny bit of touring. And yeah, but I think when you start writing your own music, that was a shift for me. Like that makes me more emotional and like proud and happy and excited. I do get more nervous now, I think, when I'm singing songs that I actually wrote and that I love, because they mean more to me.
Well, yeah, talked about it a lot here with a lot of people that you're not writing. You're basically putting your soul and your heart onto a piece of paper and then letting everyone else pick it apart. So they're
Hmm.
personal. They're personal to you. So you you if you're not nervous or scared about your own songs, there's you're either fucking awesome or there's something really wrong with you. I don't think there's anything in between there because it really is you're putting yourself out there and now
Right,
you're letting people pick apart your soul and
right.
your heart that you put into that song, and that's got to be extremely nerve-wracking, for the first time putting something out there.
It's also so great though, because when you create something that you know, like you love and represents you, if and even if people don't like it, which happens for sure, or it's just not their cup of tea, um, I think that it's just a good feeling to still be putting something out there that um, you're happy about, even if they don't like it.
Yeah, and it only takes one person to come back to you and be like, I have to tell you that that song moved me. That song changed my life. That song, I was in a dark place and it helped me. Or, that's going to come, and I'll take one of those out of 100, people shitting on a song.
Right,
One of those carries you on to writing the next song.
right. Yeah.
I hope it does for you.
Thank you. Yeah. No, it's actually funny you say that. I have just a quick memory. I remember one of the other musicians that was on my band, growing up in my band, he said, just find one person in the audience that seems like they're maybe enjoying it and just focus on them and play it for them. And fuck everyone else. So
Yeah. Like you're not going to please everyone. And I think that's where we are in this world where everyone wants to please everyone. And it's impossible. It's
it,
literally, you know,
mhm.
I was taught at a young age, nothing's impossible, only improbable. But I know something that's impossible, and that's pleasing every fucking person that you meet.
Mhm.
It's impossible. It really is.
Yeah,
So,
it's exhausting to try.
yeah. I don't care, and that's my wife has said to me before. She's like, I don't get you. Like, you just don't care. I'm like, I don't care because I'm the same person I've been my whole life. I'm not going to change for fucking anybody, and I'm not going to do anything differently because I like who I am.
Hell yeah. I love that. If only more of us could
Yeah.
learn.
It took me a long time to get there, but once I finally got there, at one point she's like, I just think you're cocky. I go, no, there's a difference. There's a fine line between cocky and confidence, and I straddle that line, and I'm very confident in myself and my abilities because I know I will never give less than 100%.
Wow.
So if I fail giving 100%, I failed trying as hard as I could. So move on to the next thing.
Oh man, it's good stuff.
Now, when you first penned your first song to record and you put it out there for people to rip apart or enjoy, whichever someone chose to, um, do you remember what it was like when you got your first notice from a stranger around the world about something you wrote?
Um yeah, I mean, so I have Gray, which is the record I just put out, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's a record before that
Desert Days.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my husband and I made that in our closet. And
Sounds, the closet's amazing.
thanks. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's very sentimental record, and the people that it was made for, I think, are the people that knew the person who the record was about, which is my dad. And yeah, lots of people were very touched by those songs. And I have a friend who I'm friends with now, but I met them because they messaged me and said that they're, a significant person in their life had died, and the song really, really opened up their heart and let them feel for the first time. And that meant a lot to me. So, yeah, it's a good feeling when something resonates with somebody for sure. It's very humbling.
Yeah, I mean, it's the grieving state is different. I brought it up, I think, yesterday. It said I had lost someone very near and dear in my life, and I said it's been a while now, and I've finally figured out there's a difference between unhappy and sad, and I think I'm past the sad stage now to the point where I'm just unhappy. And it's different. There's a different feeling. And we were trying to pick out songs, and I was talking about feelings and picking out songs. And I was like, I have a different song for when I'm sad and a different song for when I'm unhappy. And, it took me a long time to figure it out, but now I know the difference, and that's
Okay.
the stages of grieving is, I mean, it's very hard. And for you to pen something is just even more amazing. And I'm going to go into every closet in my house and see if I can create that same sound, but I doubt I will be able to.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, that it's funny because, the first things that you make, I feel like we just, as musicians, grow and progress and figure out more of our sound and what we want to, give to the world. And sometimes I can't even listen to the first record anymore just because, just, for whatever reason. And it's cool that some people, still even now reach out to me and they're like, wow, that song really means a lot to me. And I'm like, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
Well, you're in a different place now. You're growing, you're maturing, your sound grows, and you're in a different place from the day that you wrote that and you put it out there. And everyone's allowed to do that. You're allowed to
Right.
grow. You're allowed to mature. I always bring it back to Springsteen. When I was 13, I basically would say, turn this shit off. To now in my 40s, I'm like, oh, I get it now. I get why people love him. I'm like, but
Mhm.
when because you mature into it, you mature into a sound. And
Right. And you feel like you grew with him too. Like you can see how his music progressed. And it's so beautiful how I know I remember this one musician one time. I won't say his name, but I really loved the record he just put out, and I saw him at a show, and he mentioned to me that he took off everything that he had on Spotify because he hated it and he grew past it and he doesn't like it anymore. And this new record is all that he wants anyone to see just because the other one is so embarrassing. And I just was like really taken back by that. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I think that's all a part of my process, and it's fine that he felt like that, but it inspired me to be vulnerable and open with whatever the hell I'm doing at the time.
yeah. I mean, that's tough. I mean, because listen, there's bands out there that, I mean, huge bands. I'll go with Foo Fighters for one,
Yeah.
where they put out music that honestly, I think they're a great band, but like the new album came out, I'm like, yeah, no, no,
Mhm.
not for me. But you're allowed to do that.
Exactly.
You're
Yeah.
allowed to do that. You're the creator of that content. You can do whatever you want. You can put it out there. But once it's out there, just leave it there, because who knows? Someone can come back to it 2 years from now. I could go back to it, you know, when I'm on a long drive somewhere and be like, oh, all right, maybe I just didn't give it a chance. And that's why I love music,
Mhm.
because it's here forever. And if you start deleting things that you've created,
Right.
it's also, how do you learn from that?
Right. And how just keep creating. Just move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And you can impress yourself by, wow, that wasn't very good, and now look at what I'm doing.
Right.
That's, I don't know. I don't think I could delete parts of my life like that.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Yeah. Well, now in the digital age too, how you can remove things like that. That's another question I want to get to. I've talked about it a bunch here, where we're in that world of slowly just putting out a single after a single. Every month here's a new song, every month here's a new song. And I get it, because you have to stay in people's feed and you have to try to follow Spotify algorithms. But do you approach your writing of, because you got two really good albums out, did you approach your writing of, do I need to keep up with the single life, or I need to make a cohesive album, and that's what I want to do because that's what's right?
Um, I think the album route, I just appreciated, I mean, again, like Manchester Orchestra, how their entire record is like a piece of art. And it is cohesive and it feels like you want to listen to the whole thing instead of just one song. And even now, like when I have my Spotify, whatever, like on shuffle, and one of their songs comes on and it ends, I'm like waiting for the next one because I already know. And I'm like upset that it's not followed by what I expected. But anyway, I think with the album, how we wrote this one was, and actually I didn't even mention this, but my husband Jake, he co-wrote a lot of the lyrics for both albums, and so we create a lot together. But one of my challenges was, I had a friend who I'm still friends with. He's great. And he came over and he was like, what are you going to make next? And we were both just like, I don't know, I guess in like a writing, what do you call it? Writer's block.
Writer's block. Yeah.
But we challenged each other and held each other accountable to writing one song a week. And every Tuesday we'd have to send it to, the other, no matter what it was, or even if we didn't, if we forgot to write something and we wrote it 5 minutes before sending, just to continue creating and writing. And that's how this record was written. Like, some of those songs were horrible. Like, but when we went into the studio and we met with our producer, Nate, we had a lot of songs and we got to pick kind of which ones were cohesive and which ones did go together and felt like they were, they belonged with each other. So I don't know. I guess I write in singles, but kind of I've noticed that this whole record was like kind of about the same thing. So yeah, they all went together and it was great. So there was even one song I will say that my husband, he was like, I really want it on the album. I really want it on the album. And both the producer and I, Nate, he was like, I don't think it goes. I think this is a beautiful thing on its own. So we released it as a single afterwards, which is called Ray, the song. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's my friend released his album in August, and there was one song that I was like, I had heard everything, prior to him releasing it. I'm like, dude, this one song's amazing. He's like, yeah, we're not putting it on the album. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, no. He goes, we're just gonna release it on, with an EP, like the extra song. And I'm like, man, I really think it goes on. He goes, yeah, we don't. I was like, all right. I'm like, I got to tell you though, it's great. He's like, yeah, it's good. He's like, but I don't want to release it that way. And that's your prerogative. And for someone, I do like at times though, hey, here's our CD and here's the extra song with it.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, we're putting out our vinyl, and the extra song is on it.
Awesome. See, there it is. There, I knew I was thinking along the right track.
Yeah. I haven't told. No, our producer knows. It's fine.
When does that come? When are you releasing the vinyl?
Pre-orders just went live like this last Bandcamp Friday, and we're going through a beautiful small business in Georgia called Kindercore. And they said it'll be done, I guess, at the end of this month or early April. So if people pre-order it now, I guess it will get there probably like in the middle of April.
Awesome. Congratulations with that.
Thank you.
I have a question that I ask everybody. I think I already know your answer because you've mentioned it many times. Favorite band or artist that you just constantly go back to? Is it Brandy or is it something else? It's someone that you can always count on. That's what I look at as a favorite band as. Like, I have 3 bands that I just constantly, when I don't know what to listen to, I just go to that because I know I'm going to love it no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, Manchester
or Brandy. That was it. So I had a 50-50 shot and I fucked it up on air. Awesome.
I will say I've fallen in love though with the War on Drugs. They're so good. So I listen to them quite a bit lately. Such good stuff. Have you heard of them? Obviously.
Yes, I have.
Thank God.
Yes, I
have. Yeah. What about you?
What, my favorite bands? Wow, this is the week of interviews where everybody's coming right back at me and hitting me with questions that I wanted to one day do a big reveal with all my answers.
Well, bring it on, baby.
So I will give you I have three, but two of them are my constant because they're completely different. One is Face to Face, huge punk band from SoCal. It has just been in my life forever. And then the other band is the Posies, Ken
Okay.
Stringfellow and John Hour. And I think those are two bands that I've seen the most in my life. I've had the opportunity to hang out with Ken on numerous occasions. One of the nicest guys I've ever met. And it's like when you meet your hero and he exceeds all your expectations, it just makes that band even much more your favorite.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's
So
beautiful.
those are my two biggest. Same thing. I've met Trevor Keith a bunch of times from Face to Face, and he is as nice as can be. And I'm like, this is what I wanted. I wanted to meet my idols, meet the people who have made me fall in love, and go deeper into music, and to continue to watch them grow, and to meet them and hang out with them, and them just be the coolest people I've ever been around. Just it blows me away. But those are my two biggest favorite bands. I don't think I will ever be able to say one or the other.
The Posies? Is that
Yeah,
what we said? I'm
yeah.
gonna listen to that.
The Posies have been around for, I think, Failure came out in 88 maybe. They recorded John Hour and Ken Stringfellow, who are the Posies. I think they recorded that on a 4-track, and that was their first album. And I mean, everything, they've just continued to grow. They're an amazing band. But yeah.
Sweet.
So if you want to get ramped up, you listen to Face to Face. If you want to listen to great rock and roll, you listen to the Posies, and that's where I fall in. So there's my spiel. Fuck, I'm giving away all my good shit all in 1 week of interviews. This is crazy.
Hell yeah. Thanks for sharing. Oh my gosh.
Is there anything that you listen to that someone would be surprised that you really like it?
Me Without You.
Okay.
They're so good. Oh my God. Have you heard of Me Without You?
I saw them last year. Appleseed Cast Cursive opened for them. That's what I was going to see, and Me Without You was the headliner. I listened to their stuff. I wasn't ever. It was weird music to me, and then I saw them perform, and I was like, oh, okay. Now I know why. Now I know why they are who they are, because they fucking tore the stage apart, and just owned it. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I think Timothy Hay is my favorite song by them. And I don't know. They are just legendary. So, so beautiful. I think they were the first band that I ever moshed to. Also, I definitely crowd surfed, and it was, just a beautiful experience.
Yeah, and fingers crossed, I will be seeing them again in September at Furnace Fest in Alabama. So.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So.
Also, Enya is so good too.
Okay. See, this is where I'm going. This is what we call our guilty pleasures, like things that you just listen to that people be like, "Wow, you listen to that?" For me, it's like Moore's Day and the Time, like it.
Such good stuff.
All right, good guilty pleasures there.
Thank you. Ooh, also Mulan soundtrack, I have to say, is life-changing.
Okay. The new Mulan soundtrack?
No.
The original cartoon?
Yeah, I know you mentioned Disney as something, but I still love it.
Yeah. Well, I brought up Disney. We did my buddies and I did a roundtable Hall of Fame. We were talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and Phil Collins was a big thing about us, where I was like, Phil Collins should be in the Hall of Fame just on his Disney soundtracks alone.
Oh my gosh.
And I think it's wrong what Disney has been doing, making these live action so they don't have to pay royalties to the old artists with the cartoons.
Yeah, so fucked up.
So, fuck you, Disney.
Yes, fuck you, Disney. Oh my gosh, though, Prince of Egypt, Hans Zimmer. Did you know that he did the soundtrack for that movie?
No.
I think that I don't know. I need to stop now, but yeah, such good stuff.
That's right. All the Disney people that listen to this are going to cancel us, so whatever.
I'm sorry.
I didn't mean it. Listen, I enjoy going to Disney World or Disneyland. But I enjoy it. It still makes me feel like a kid, but I don't, like all their practices. But whatever.
No, they're pretty bad people. I think that I'm not going to listen to Prince of Egypt anymore, just so you guys know.
Okay.
What else you got for me?
Okay. Listen, we're going down rabbit holes and I love it. This is what this is all about.
Oh gosh.
So when the world opens up again, do you have anything planned? Have you played any live shows, any backyard shows, anything? Do you plan on doing anything like that when we return to some factor of normalcy?
I can't wait. So we recorded everything in Seattle, like Ballard area, and we lived there, and then we moved to New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so nobody talked to you about the Posies in Seattle?
Well, I lived there for 10 years and I was in a cult, so no.
Oh, okay.
No, are they from there?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for the education. Well, yeah, anyways, but we moved to New Mexico like right before quarantine, so it was just we wanted to explore the city and like find the beautiful little, there's such a like an underground music scene here, and I think it's about to explode. There's just so much talent, and I'm really excited to see all the people here play live and get to play shows with them. And I mean, originally, obviously, with the record, we were hoping to tour, and we haven't done any of that. We haven't seen anybody in a long time.
Yeah, it's killing me. It's really killing me. That's why as soon as Furnace Fest announced, that they were going in September, I was like, we're going to be okay by then. Right? Yeah. We're going to be okay. And my wife and I, she's like, should I'm like, just get the tickets. Like, we're going. We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine.
Yeah. Just wear a mask.
Yeah.
I didn't actually know that. That's exciting. They're probably already sold out.
Who knows? I would check it out. The 3-day lineup is insanity. It's for me. My wife goes, "Yeah, I saw it pop up, and I looked at every single band." She goes, "I've heard you mentioned every single one of the 300 bands that are playing." So, we're going. So.
Yeah, where are you? Are you out of Seattle?
No, I'm out of New Jersey, right outside of New York City.
Oh, okay. Oh, sweet. Yeah. Okay. Well, Alabama's pretty far away from us, but I think we can maybe make it.
Yeah. Alabama's far away from me too. I've been there to Alabama before, and it's not my favorite place in the world, but for that kind of music, any place is my favorite place in the world.
Dang.
Yeah, and that's why I miss music so much, being right outside of the city and being able to go to any day of the week, any show what do I want to do tonight? Well, who's playing? And then just go. That's, always been my motto. And for the last year today is actually a year to the day that I saw my last live concert.
Oh, what was it?
Dashboard Confessional and the Get Up Kids at Webster Hall in New York City.
Oh my gosh.
And then the very next day, everything was done around here. So
dang. I was actually, my last show that I went to was in Mexico. I went to the Girls Just Wanna weekend, like with Brandy Carlisle and Sheryl Crow.
Mm-hmm.
It was, and then I remember when we were flying back to New Mexico, they were like asking us, "Have you been to, China?" And then that's when everything went crazy. But.
Yeah, it's been crazy, but I think I'm hoping we're better for it. I don't know. Sometimes I think we are. Other times I see things that I don't think we are. But I've tried to tell people, especially being quarantined with my wife, I'm never going to be with her this much again in my life. So we took it upon ourselves to just make the best of everything, and it's going to be tough not being with each other.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm going to miss my dog and my cat and my husband.
Yeah. I think my wife's the same way, that she's going to miss the dogs more. And then she'll be like, "Oh yeah, my husband too."
Yeah, in that order.
That's how it always goes. That's if you own a pet, the pet's first, and then the significant other comes.
Oh my gosh, yeah. My Jake would say it in the he would say the cat, the dog, and then me. My dog's name is Posey, by the way, so we're
Oh,
gonna have to
see,
introduce her.
it was meant to be. It was meant to be. I would start with, there's an album, Dear 23, that was one of my favorites, but their most famous one is Frosting on the Beater, but those two albums will get you to where you need to be with the Posies.
Oh, I love that. Sweet. I was gonna say, I know that you did a Racoma episode, and Racoma in Seattle, that band, they're my buddies. I freaking love them.
They're some of the nicest guys. They've created something that, I mean, it was hard to explain for me when I was listening to it, just like with yours. When I hear something that I truly enjoy and haven't heard something like that in a while, which I'm sure there's tons of shit out there that sound like it, but it was just at that moment. I think music finds you when you least expect it and when you most need it.
Yeah.
And that was kind of, what Racoma did to me. And I listened to it, and some of the nicest guys I ever got to talk to. And we had a blast, and their music is great.
Yeah. No, Glenn is awesome. Yeah. I really love them.
Yeah, he's a Jersey boy too. So we got to talk about that. Yeah. We got to talk about that too.
We got to play a show together at, I think it was in Ballard in Seattle, but I can't remember the Sunset Tavern. That's what it was.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't want to keep you forever. I have two final questions. How we end this, a little more self-reflection on this one that's coming your way. How would you like to most be remembered as an artist? Did you fall off your chair?
Yeah. I don't know. I think kindness and maybe making them feel something that made them feel alive.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
kind-hearted. Yes.
Yeah. And just that's all I got. If I keep rambling, I don't know.
All right. Yeah. I listen, self-reflection is hard.
Yeah.
All right. And we will bring it home with how we end our episode every week, which is with our weekly threes. It's 3 things that you're listening to right now or recently, not right now because you're listening to me continue talking into your ear, but 3 things you're listening to right now that you would like people to check out. It could be new, it could be old, it could be something majorly popular, just whatever the 3 things you're listening to that you'd like to put out there.
I've been listening to a lot of Abby Gunderson. She just put out a record and it's all instrumental. She's a composer. It's so healing to listen to her music. Also Deep Sea Diver. They're Jessica Dobson is going to change the world. She already has changed the world. Let's see. I'm going to say Racoma just because their record is so good.
Look at that. It is so good. It is so good. I implore people to check that out.
Please.
I have many, many times. I've sent it to a bunch of people to listen to. So,
yeah.
All right. So I am going to give my 3 for this week. My first one is going to probably seem a little weird to people, but it's Typo Negative, the old New York goth rock band, metalish. And I'll give the reason why so people don't start blowing up our Twitter and Instagram. I just read an article about Peter Steele, the lead singer who passed away. And I said, you know what? I got to do a deeper dive into Typo Negative. So that's why I'm listening to them right now. And it's actually, I get it. So number 2 is a band called Stars of Track and Field. They're from Portland, Oregon. They're an indie rock band. They were no longer a band, but their music still lives on. So I want people to check them out. There's an album called A Time for Lions to check out. And when you hear that album, you'll understand why I listen to them. And there's a newer band called Forever Starts Today out of Austin, Texas. It's rock, pop punk. Christina Murphy's the lead singer. She is, all I can say is fucking brilliant. She's amazing. Very anthemic songs, and it's just awesome. And can't wait because they're going to be playing at Furnace Fest, so I'll get to see them live. But the album Always Hope, if you want something anthemic and very rock and in your face and get you ready to be pumped up, that's where you go. So those are my 3 for this week.
Those are good ones.
So, Alie, I'd like to give you an opportunity right now to say something to your current fans and your new fans that we'll be getting for you from this, and tell everybody how to find everything you're doing as well.
Yeah, thank you everybody for listening to Gray, and we just had a merch drop and we definitely surpassed our goals. So thank you everyone for all your support. And we mostly update Instagram. So it's Byland Music, Byland, not by sea, but by land. And we really don't keep up Twitter. I've been trying to, I don't have freaking time.
Yeah, it's a clusterfuck. I don't keep up with it either.
I don't know.
Stay away. I try to stay away, but in this world, you have to kind of be a part of it in some sense.
Yeah, we have one. Yeah, I think it's the same one, Byland Music. And then, yeah, we're on Bandcamp and Spotify, and our website is bylandmusic.com. And my phone number is, just kidding. Yeah.
Social Security is...
Yeah.
My CVC code on the back of my credit card is 123.
23. Nice. Did I miss anything?
No. Yeah, that's perfect. We want to thank you here. Welcome to the Hidden Tracks family, Alie. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate everything you're doing. We look for awesome things for you in the future, and I hope in my travels I get to see you perform live one day. I think it'll be pretty fucking astonishing.
Thank you so much, Shane. I really appreciate you inviting me onto your wonderful podcast.
Well, thank you so much, and thanks for listening.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So everybody, get out there, go have a great time. Thanks again for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HiddenTracks99. Also, send all your submissions myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Tune in next week. You may find your new favorite band, and don't forget to go out and have a great fucking time.